Hello, everyone. I am with Amie Howes today, and what's the name of your company, Amie?
Grand Masterpiece Design.
Okay, so when I hear of that, are you a design firm? Are you a construction firm? What all do you do?
So we're actually both. We connect with clients. We are from design all the way through to the end of a renovation for them. Whether it's a kitchen, a bathroom, investment properties such as Airbnbs, but we are with them from selections all the way through to the end.
Wow. So do you do your own drawing? Like you do construction too, right?
Yes. I'm a general contractor.
So you're a general contractor, and do you rip out kitchens and do all new kitchens, rip out walls?
Yes, we do all of that.
All of
the
stuff.
above. Yes, and it's very fun because no job is the same, and it keeps my brain going.
You like that, huh?
I love it. Yes.
So I have actually been to some of your kitchen remodels, and I know they are pretty extensive. Probably a couple $100,000 jobs at some points, huh?
Yes, yes.
And so you help them with the design. So who's your architect? Like who does the drawings?
I use somebody who is privately. It's William Consulting Services,
okay.
and
so he helps you out with that.
Yes.
Does he put the furniture in there and make everything kind of look the part?
Yes, and he can make people walk through. He does an amazing job with what he's able to bring to life for people to see their vision come into paper. And then he also uses video.
Oh, wow.
That we can use, and we can go into the space, and through their phone they can move it around and actually see what it's going to look like if they want that type of a service.
Well, from my experience, building houses over the last 20 years, people can't visualize anything. You could have an empty box and they can't visualize the cabinets, the open space. They can't really visualize anything until they see it.
And I think that is the most fun part, is being able to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Let them see it on paper or through a screen, and then when it's finished, they are just so excited that they're like, this is exactly what we wanted. This was the masterpiece we wanted. That's the part that is the most fun.
So how long have you been doing the construction side of things, right? Because I know when I met you a long time ago, you were doing some staging, so you have a good background in staging. Mm-hmm. You've actually probably staged and furnished at least 4 or 5 of our Airbnbs. So that's something that you may or may not do still now, right? I guess it depends on your schedule, so to speak. Yes. But I know the Airbnbs that you've done for us have been hitting it out of the park.
Thank you.
We've been doing really, really well with them.
Your team is really awesome to work with.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing the construction side of things?
We're going to be 6 years old this year, so for 5 years.
5 years.
I started out just with design, basically helping people with furniture and artwork and plants, all that kind of stuff, the pretty side. And then I started to get asked for my repeat clients, hey, could you do a powder room? Could you do XYZ? And I'm like, I think I'm leaving money on the table here. Let me look and see what it takes to become a general contractor.
Yeah.
I had all the contacts. So I did that. I got licensed.
So you have all the subcontractors that can work for you?
Yep, I got insured, and we use all master plumbers, master electricians, all the people who I know are going to take care, who I would trust in my own home.
Yeah, and you've been doing it for 6 years now, so it's not like you're new, you know what you're doing. And I can tell you, when I did stuff early on, the first houses I built, I made mistakes. I mean, people to this day would probably say, Rob built my house and he made these 5 mistakes. So the longer we do the business, the better we get at not making that same mistake again.
I would say the most important thing was finding the people who are trustworthy and were going to do quality work. That's where I could have lost a business, was through bad installers.
Now, I know you went to Pittsburgh for 6 months to do a big project. Are you doing projects like that anymore?
I will always look at an opportunity.
Okay.
I learned a lot through that job. It was hard. It was the hardest I've ever done.
What was that? What was that particular job?
It was an old barn that was turned into a duplex, and we made it one we took out multiple stairwells, and then we actually raised it 2 levels.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
All one house.
All modern farmhouse. Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes. So we used hardy cement board for the board and batten outside, standing seam roof.
Did some of your contractors go down there?
So the ones that were able to did.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate with that. And then some parts of it was Fox Chapel in Pittsburgh, and they require their own plumber. And
okay.
I think that was it. And
Maybe
HVAC.
Okay.
HVAC and plumber had to come from out there.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, I know when we go to Harrisburg, our plumbers from Carlisle can't normally go to Harrisburg to work because you have to be licensed in the city. It becomes a lot more complicated. Frankly, I think it hurts Harrisburg because a lot more people would invest money in Harrisburg if they didn't have to go use professional licensed in the city, and they just slow the process down in Harrisburg. And to me, it hurts Harrisburg because people don't want to go. Like, I'm not going to go there in the city and do complete rehabs because of that.
I think it's a common city thing. Lancaster City is the same way. And I would just say we had an amazing code officer out there. I met with him several times before the project even started, and we had his full support, and he helped even with getting contacts out there. Wow. So it was a really good experience on the contact.
How many times did you drive back and forth?
Every week. We had a short-term rental.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, oh, I would have done
I would need an airplane.
a better
I would need
job.
an airplane.
You know, they do have, it's like $75, I think, one way. But it's a little puddle jumper, and I was like, no, I'll just
done
drive.
it. We did this last weekend.
Well, I listened to podcasts and stuff on the way, and it was fine.
Okay. Where would the puddle jumper have come and gone from? Like New Cumberland or Elizabeth?
Lancaster City, I want to say.
To Pittsburgh.
Or maybe it is from Harrisburg. But a friend of mine told me about that. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I was scared this last week. Olivia and we just went up on our first airplane ride this last weekend, and it was insane.
They're like a tin can.
Ours felt good. We were going about 185 mile an hour in it.
Okay, corporate jets are a little different when they're small, but the little ones, I don't know if I could do that.
When Olivia was driving the plane and turning it and giving us more G-forces than Jimmy, the owner, I was like, and then the clouds were coming down, so she was turning and going up, and we were going up in the clouds, and I was like, Jimmy, I think it's time to let drive it yourself. I'm saying it right on the speaker thing. I mean, I was terrified.
I would imagine.
But Olivia and I might be getting our pilot's license.
That's so cool.
We might be.
Okay. How old is she?
14.
14. Okay.
It's a lot of work. The more I start looking into it, like, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of money. It's a lot of hours, a lot of money too. Yeah. And it's just like the rebuilding of the airplane and all that kind of stuff.
Well, when you get your corporate jet, then you
that's
can
not happening. I'm never going to get to that level.
Yourself.
That is crazy. You need to have corporate jets. You need crazy amounts of money.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, corporate jet's going to cost $1 million a year just to have it, even if you paid for it. Not really going to happen. My business, I don't know if I'm going to grow it that big. So. So if somebody were so you have the ability to take on some more projects right now, probably. So
yes.
So how does someone reach out to you? What's your cell phone number?
Yes. So my cell phone number is 717-471-6891, and you can always see our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram. We also have our website, grandmasterpiecedesign.com.
Oh, that's cool. And so when someone starts it takes a long time to start a project.
And we really take our time in that part. We don't rush it because we go through the whole design, the estimate part, first of all, because a lot of people don't even know what things cost right now. Yeah. It is very expensive. And it hasn't really come down since COVID, and you know that. But helping them estimating what their budget is and what they can, and not only for function, but is it going to increase the value of their home? True. So I really do put are you sure that you want to do this because it actually might devalue your home?
Yeah, so you care more than just getting a job.
It is more than just.
And you try to get there. So a lot of builders will give allowances, right? And they set it all up that way. And then you turn around and they start picking allowances, and then it's double the cost. Do you try to understand what they're doing before you do that? So that they don't get hit with a huge extra. My
proposals will always come in at high. That way they know that they're either going to go up or low from there. I pick the allowances, like, for example, tile, I will typically do, depending on if I know their taste, I'll increase it. That way they're not surprised. That's $10
That's exactly the way I used to do it back in the day, so we would really have no major issues. No, a friend of mine who you know is building a house right now, and his allowance for the closet shelving and stuff literally was like 18 grand was the quote. And then when it came in with the actual quote, it was like 30 grand. So it was like double. Wow. Just one. That was just one item.
Yeah. And that's and I don't want to disappoint them. I don't want them to not get what they want. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, if this is everything, this is what it's going to cost. So you can go up or down from there.
Now, if you have wire shelving in there and then they go to wood, then, and they originally, I'm fine with wire, but then they get into the mix of it and they talk to somebody and they're like, oh, we want to go custom wood, custom full design. Yeah, your wire shelving that was 2,000 literally might be 10,000 now. And that's something that's normal. Hey, you really want it, this is what you have to spend.
Yes.
And I can't imagine, all that stuff was expensive 5 years ago. Like the closet shelving, for example. I can't imagine kitchens and everything right now.
An average size kitchen for, I would say it runs right around 40 to 50,000, depending on all the things that they are picking.
Does that include appliances or not really?
It can. It just depends on the grade level that they want.
Yeah, and you could spend $100,000 on a kitchen easily if you went to fully custom, fully self-closing, beaded inset, all that stuff.
My goal this year is to be able to do a hidden pantry for someone.
A hidden pantry.
It's literally, I was judging for a Parade of Homes house.
Yeah.
And I was just opening cabinet doors, just looking at quality. And I opened 2 doors that looked like cabinets.
Yeah.
And it was a whole other room.
That's
beverage
cool.
station, wine rack, all the food stuff, and it was so neat. It was a whole other room.
I would like a hidden pantry.
This big or more.
We need a hidden pantry. When you have 3 kids, it's like,
I know.
Now they're starting to eat a lot. So
it's where you can go and hide.
It's getting pretty crazy.
It is.
So do you own any Airbnbs yet? I know you've worked on a lot of them.
I do not yet.
Okay, not yet.
Investment properties are our goal.
Are up and coming.
Yes.
Yes. I will say that I sold the one in Front Street. You did the one in Front?
I didn't know that.
We sold that one.
Did you? By the water?
Yeah. Oh. It was actually breaking even. Really. I mean, the upside, maybe $200 a month average, it was making profit. So it really wasn't. And, I had a fixed loan for 5 years that was interest only. So I was like, it's not making a whole lot. I owed $180 all in on it. Okay. And so we put it on the MLS for $240. And then someone bought it for $250 and they took the furniture and everything. Done. Wow. So we walked away with about $70,000. That's incredible. So it was like. And that was that 2 years ago? Maybe a year and a half. A year and a half, yes. Yeah. But it was just kind of limping along. And year over year, all of our Airbnbs have actually gone down a percentage, maybe 8 to 10%, like around the board, like the income and the amount of stays. And I don't know what to, either people are, having trouble paying for stuff and just taking less vacations, or I think also more people are possibly taking, going to Mexico because the borders are all opened up again. So, during COVID, everyone stayed put. Yes. And you had a lot of long-term people come to your Airbnbs during COVID. During COVID. But then even after COVID was over, people still weren't going out of the country a whole lot. Right. Even really until this last 12 months. And do you feel like the market is more saturated with them too? That is true. That is definitely a thing. I've seen people selling them. I've seen people up in the Poconos. They're definitely selling theirs. The big ones aren't doing as good. Yeah. I know people in the Smoky Mountains, down south and Tennessee and all those areas. Some of those people just aren't doing as good as they thought they would do. I know people that have them in Florida, like on the Panhandle, and all of Florida, the insurance rates have tripled. Oh, wow. So that hurts. Yeah, so it hurts. Yeah. Now, maybe if you have a 3% rate, you're okay, but. And in some of the fun towns, they don't even allow them. So they have banned them. So. Yeah. So I'm hit or miss. I'm not really looking for more Airbnbs, especially with the interest rates in the 7-8% range. Sure. It makes it even harder. But you're still into wanting to find multi-units and how's your Pittsburgh one doing? I have 2 in Pittsburgh. We have a 146 unit that's near Slippery Rock, and it has some student housing components. Okay. Because there's 20% that are student housing, so 30 residents. So December they had the move. That's when they move out. So we have 13 vacant right now out of 146. Wow, that's really good. Last year we had 26 that weren't rented at that time. So we're getting better. We're getting more long-term residents. We just had a resident. There was a long-term resident there that just passed away actually, which. But it's all one floor. It's good for senior housing. Okay. Even though it's just outside. Have you ever been to Slippery Rock? No. It's in the middle of nowhere. Oh, is it really? I wouldn't recommend it. And we're outside of town where it's desolate. Okay. Slippery Rock. On the far side of Pittsburgh. Yeah. And then the other one we have is in Newcastle, which is 30 minutes away. We have a 50 unit, and we have some turnover. We're doing well there. Good. Our interest rate's a little bit higher, and we're on a 25-year AM. So when you do these big deals and you get a 20, like when you go down to a 25-year AM, most of them are interest only or 30-year AM. So when you go down to a 25, it makes the cash flow
tighter. What about the assisted living? How's that going? It's a beautiful facility. I love that facility.
We are making progress. Okay. It is very hard. It's harder than I expected. You know, keeping staff and making staff happy is a huge component of this. And then we've had some people there pass away, which kind of stinks, but you know that's going to happen.
Yep.
So we're right around 30 residents. We were up to 33. Now we're 30.
And how many total can you have?
We can have 64.
Okay.
So we have a little ways to go.
Okay.
Sooner the better.
It'll get out there.
Yes.
It'll get out there.
But rentals are still going strong. You know, I'm seeing the rental markets. We're still renting things.
Your single homes.
What's that?
You're single
and apartment complexes around the board. Apartment complexes are doing even better than the. Actually, we're pretty much 95% full, maybe even better right now on everything.
That's awesome.
So apartments are good.
Good.
Some people that bought large apartment buildings need to push rents. We're not in a position where we need to push rents because we bought everything 3 and 4 years ago, and we're basing it on those numbers, and those prices have already gone up, and we've exceeded what our 3 and 5 year goals were. So we're very comfortable in some of them where we're at.
Well, and I think without inventory, people are renting, but rentals are even hard to find. But also going back to construction, people are just wanting to do things in their own house so that because they can't find a place to go.
Yes.
So we're doing a lot of offices.
Oh wow.
In-law suites, like people who want to age in place instead of move and build.
So you can do commercial light build outs and stuff like that, changing an office around, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's really been beneficial with where the market is. It's hard for realtors, I understand, but right now it's been a great win for the construction industry as a whole. I hear people are just really busy, so I'm happy for them.
In construction?
Mm-hmm. Renovation, in the remodel.
Renovation.
Yes.
The new construction is a little iffy.
The new construction is...
We're building a house right now.
I saw that. I saw that
we can go look at it if you want.
Yeah, that would be cool.
When we're done.
If we have time. I know that we do have another appointment.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You're busy.
But we'll see. We'll see how much time.
That's good.
But
I cleared the whole day out, so.
Oh, did you?
I'm kidding.
There's no way.
Do you want to text Meg to see if she wants to come back? Yep. We'll talk about her problems too.
Cool.
Meg has lots of problems.
Oh yeah. Lots of problems?
Yes. Look at this problem she had yesterday. Meg's there. She's hysterical. They were removing a tree that she was complaining about a couple weeks ago, and the tree was causing all kinds of problems. They dug up the tree, and now it broke the gas line. If it has to go to the main gas line, I'm hearing that they might have to dip up the whole street. She's like worried she might be going bankrupt over this, so we're gonna go get involved and see what's going on. So hop in, let's go. She was taking a tree out, and they nicked the gas line.
Oh my word.
There's the...
Thank God that there was not a spark.
He's down around 4 feet around that stump. Yeah. He doesn't think he can dig it out.
Oh, good grief.
So you may have to get a chainsaw and cut it out.
Good grief.
Here's the moral of that story yesterday. What's the first, when you're digging around like in a city,
you get them sprayed.
No, what's
for the lines?
Is that the first thing you would do?
I would probably have you.
You're exactly right.
Come out.
Yeah, that's what they didn't do.
Oh.
Okay, so
listen.
I guess somebody at some point came out and sprayed, which I guess was the borough. So I didn't really think about like what all the colors meant. Like,
got you.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now I know that there's different colors for different things.
No, here's what you learned. No matter what, you have to call PA1 call from your number, like with your construction, because that way it's proof.
I wasn't the contractor.
But you have to ensure that the contractor, it does call, right? I guess.
So, but here's the other thing. Like, so many other people, and I guess everybody, I was such in the mindset of like, all they're doing is grinding it down.
Yeah.
You're not actually digging.
And
like, that was kind of like my mindset of like.
But you weren't grinding it down.
Well, the game plan changed when they saw how big it was, and I guess I was just so like, I got to get this thing done because it's been on my plate for months of like headaches and problems that I didn't really, think.
Yeah.
Oh, the game plan.
Oh, she called
changed.
20
Maybe I
people to
should
get
do it.
estimates. She got it whittled down to $500 to remove this tree.
No, so it was
800.
removing the tree,
So
Yeah.
that's a
then
good
cutting the
price.
concrete, then the stump removal, and then doing the concrete.
Okay.
So, and I'm technically not liable because
No.
I hired a contractor,
Yep.
and the contractor, he was
Correct.
supposed to
Yep.
be the one that called PA1.
Yep.
And I mean, that is on the contractor.
I messaged him last night just saying I was feeling for him yesterday because it's not fun to be in that situation.
And he was
It's a
the one
big
that
learning.
hit it. Like, it wasn't me. And, so my insurance is saying that I'm not liable, so they're not stepping in. UGI is saying that I'm not liable. It's the contractor.
Yeah.
And UGI took his information. Like, they didn't ask me for mine. They didn't, UGI straight up told me to my face, you are not
Here's the
liable.
funny part about that. Okay, let's move beyond that particular problem. But I get on the phone with her yesterday because she's upset. She was in tears on the
I
phone.
was not in tears.
She is screaming at the security guard that was there. She literally. Don't let those bright eyes and the smile fool you. She is like scary.
Okay, I was.
She gets her stuff done though.
Okay, listen. So, here's the house, and here's the sidewalk with the stump, and all these fire department people are there, police officers are there, UGI is there, the two contractors are there. They're all standing right next to the stump, and they're literally just standing there.
Yeah.
Then you have the road, then you have the sidewalk, and then there's a fire hydrant and like some grass and stuff. And I was standing like on the total opposite side of the road, I was like at least 20, maybe even 30 feet away. And this police officer comes up to me and goes, ma'am, you need to exit the premises, you're not allowed to be here. And I said, oh, I'm the owner of the house. Yeah, you're not allowed to be here.
He said only the contractors can be here.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, I'm the owner of the house, and I'm not allowed to be here. And it kind of got a little bickery, and he ended up telling me that I needed to leave or he'll
Did you walk?
have me removed.
Did you leave?
Oh my
I
god.
walked behind a car.
And then we walked back anyway, right?
And then we walked back.
He didn't
with
say
the
a word.
camera.
He didn't say a word to
He
me.
didn't say a word to
We
me.
showed up with the video cameras and everything.
Yeah, and he didn't say a word.
Not a word to me.
I guarantee you it was because I was a girl.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that, but I didn't know if I should.
Because I was the only female.
Well, you look like you're 12. He probably was worried a school kid was out here. Do you think that's what he thought?
I don't know, maybe. I mean,
Yeah, he didn't say a word to me. He made it look like I was supposed to be there.
but even after I said I'm the owner of the property, you would think oh, okay.
He didn't even ask me who I was.
Yeah.
He didn't. Ryan, did he ask you who you were?
Didn't say
No,
anything.
me and Ryan were good.
Yeah.
I was going to tell him we were from Dateline and we were doing a documentary.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, he just gave me a hard time about it. And I'm like, this is outrageous. Like, I'm allowed to be here. It's my property. Like, I want to know what's going on.
So Amie here does higher end construction projects than you, by the way. And well, we've done some high end. Most of our stuff is not high end, right? But you can do high end, right?
Yeah, we can.
For example, that deck you did on that $1 million house.
And Jory's bathroom,
Oh, Jory's bathroom. How much was that?
like 60.
60,000.
Yeah.
One bathroom, 60,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to get there though, does it, these days?
But you don't want the wrong person doing the
No.
bathroom because if someone goes in does it wrong, you literally will have to rip the whole thing out.
Yes, and that is expensive. Been there, done that a few times.
Oh, you've done that. That's
yeah.
how we learn, right?
That's how I learned, and now I use one tile installer. Yep.
I don't think I've had to rip out a bathroom, but I have had ripped out concrete. What are some things you've done wrong, Meg, that we've had to redo?
Well, I've had other people who came to us, wanted to hire us. We gave them a quote. They said, no, you're too high. They go to other people. They hired
then
other
they pay
people.
for it.
They mess up, and then they came back to us asking us to rip it all out and redo it. I've had that quite a few times.
And you did? Yeah. So, like, we don't want to, like, we're probably not the cheapest, but if you go with someone that's cheaper, and specifically someone that is, they're the plumber, they're doing the tile, they're doing every aspect of the trades themselves. And don't get me wrong, there are guys that could do it all, and I could name a couple that can do all that, but for the most part, most of the guys that say they can do the whole 9 yards, they can't.
Yep.
And they can't do it to the level that it needs to be done. Like, I tell you what, I could remodel a bathroom, I could do the tile, I could do the plumbing, but I could probably find subs to do it better than what I could do. And I'm pretty particular, but I couldn't do it.
And you can't do as many jobs at one time.
Yes.
Yeah.
you can stagger because you can only rough in with so many things, and then you can have demo happening somewhere else. You can
You
stagger
can't
it and
scale
have,
yourself if you're
Yeah,
doing it all
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
We've had people do bad backsplashes that probably should have been ripped out that we didn't rip out. Meg knows what I'm talking about there.
See how that is.
Anytime we talk about tile, we bring that up.
But Josh Shea, like he was one that
He was one guy that could do it
He was
all.
one that guy that could do it all. It would take him forever to do something. Like, I mean, something that it would take like a month to do. It would take him like 4.
And we were okay with that. When we got him on a job, we knew it was going to be okay. There was a guy out of Elizabethtown that we're like, whatever he just put him on it.
Dave was awesome. He was a
Is he moving
whirlwind.
back yet or no?
No, so Dave was the one that did Joey's bathroom, and he was
Okay.
very, very skilled. He did Travis's funeral home, and, you know, a few flips.
From Elizabethtown.
A few higher end flips, like 14 Corey in Lancaster. And he was very, very talented, and he could literally do every aspect of it, and he could do every aspect well. But he and his wife decided to move to Tennessee,
Oh,
and that was kind of a
Okay.
big, that was a tough loss.
that's a big loss. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some other big issues you had? For example, that one deck you did the one time, we had a little discrepancy on the yard, right? We got the yard all messed up.
Yeah.
That's something that, taking into account when you're doing estimating yard
Yeah.
repair, I lost money on a job because of that. Yeah.
How much did the sod cost you for that yard?
Oh, it was quite expensive. Maybe 6,000 or so.
We had to sod the whole yard, and that was never in the budget. It was never
Yeah.
part of the plan. So if you're going to mess up someone's yard, set up the expectation. Like I literally, so back before Meg, we used to have all these bullet points we used to put in contracts. Like literally, we're going to destroy the yard. The house may not be perfect. Like literally, every time we had a problem, we had more problem. Like every time we had a problem over the years, we just started adding it to the bottom of the contract as like disclaimers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know, probably wouldn't help you get business, but it literally, like, if I was doing someone's yard, I would have had disclosure now. Hey, your yard could be destroyed, and it takes 6 months to grow back.
Yeah, I learned from that that mistake. So it was $1 million house. It was extremely nice property. They hired us to do a deck. I mean, we were fully capable of doing the deck, but in order to get to where they needed to pour the concrete, the guy had to go like around into the yard to access it, and the truck got stuck, and he was trying to like get out, and he was just digging and digging and digging, and I mean it was a nightmare. And of course, at that quality house, the homeowner was not happy about it. So then we, dug it all up and sodded it.
Wow.
It was like,
And he didn't pay for it at all.
Yeah, we fixed it.
So what would you put disclaimers in there that here could be an extra? If you want sod or any yard damage that's excessive, or like literally, I would just tell them it's all going to be extra. Cost plus.
Yeah.
Or you just don't do the job. Like, I guess it's a tough line because you want to do work, but if you put in all these disclaimers, you could make them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was about a year later that I had another job, and it was a deck job, and and I specifically told the people, like, look, your yard is going to get ripped up because of having to get the machine around in order to do the concrete, and I sign off on this saying that
so you did learn from that. You did learn
that your yard is going to be damaged, and it is not quoted in here to fix it. Like, I might put like seed and straw down just to give it a clean look to it, but that's
They were okay with it then?
They were okay
Was
with
the yard messed up?
Oh yeah.
Do you think they had to bring someone in to fix it later, or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I seeded and strawed it.
Okay, you did seed and straw it, but you should also let them know, hey, if you want us to come back, well, it'll cost, but we can do it in the spring again.
Yeah.
So those are the things you can do. It's going to cost, right? But it's just not built into this price.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be a little scary to like bite off something, and it's like, oh man, I don't know how I feel about it, but.
I always remember though, if I didn't bite off projects like that, I wouldn't learn. Learn, and I know I'm going to lose money on some, but I try to say yes to as many as I can because I know I'll find the right. If I don't have the right answer or the right person, I will find one.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's been a job as hard as they are or as much as I've ever lost that I regret doing because I learned something.
That's good.
Do you regret any?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say I regret it, but there was definitely some that were like, oh man, I wish I would have tackled this differently. Hindsight's.
Yeah.
But
like I don't
builds
want to
you.
go
When
back
you-
and do it again,
Yeah.
and I learned my lesson.
But it builds you, right? It makes you stronger. Like you can handle like. I remember when Mike Wonders was here, right? Like he didn't even want to do her jobs. We got so tired of them, and Meg comes in and she's like, "I want to do it all. I want to do it." Like, and she hasn't let those jobs stop her from wanting to do the next hard thing. I think you're more selective on who's doing the jobs versus who you did in the past, right? Like,
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, if there's a job that I don't feel comfortable with in terms of like who I'm going to get the work to do it, like to do the work, I typically I don't say no. So I have my own way of saying no as to I just price it out.
Price it out. Yep.
Yeah.
And being more selective on the clients is something that I've learned. I don't have to say yes to everyone, and if I have a gut feeling that this person is going to probably not be a very nice person to work with.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, if I can't give them a good, so I will get a good review at the end.
Yeah.
Then, price it out and then.
Yeah, so I've started to learn that too, like just to get like the vibe of how those people are. There was a job that I looked at like 3 weeks ago, and he was walking through and talking to me about it and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, I'm kind of going through a little financial hardship," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do work for you then. Like if you're just like walking me through your house saying this needs fixed, this needs fixed, this needs fixed, and then I'm going through a financial hardship, no, you're probably not gonna pay me."
Right.
So.
Yeah. Have you ever had anyone not pay you yet? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Have we? Not really. Us.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Remember last year, 203 Green Hill Road?
Oh.
Yeah. That wasn't anything, it wasn't significant. Because
Yeah, that was a bizarre
I put a
situation.
stop to the work. I said, I'm pulling my guys off of this. We're done.
That was a bizarre situation.
Yeah.
Was that hard?
That
I've
was
never
the
had to
very-
do that.
That was the first and only time that I've ever said to somebody, I'm pulling my team
Yeah.
off
Wow.
of this. We're done. Like, this is not a good relationship.
Yeah.
That's rare.
That was the first time and only time I've ever done that in my whole career.
I only had one job that went completely sideways. It was back when I was doing the work. Things were going sideways on the job. We did an addition. We were doing the work. Things were going. I don't exactly remember where they went off the rails. I do remember one time someone was in there painting, and they dropped a 5-gallon bucket. A 1-gallon paint. Finished paint, trim paint off, and the hardwood was being laid. It was pre-finished. So it was everywhere. I mean, I was in there on my hands and knees cleaning it up. They eventually threw me off the job, and I was mad. I never really got mad. I went and knocked their fence down one day afterwards. I was drinking. I was drunk. Then they kind of thought it was me. Then they took me to court, and I lost. So then I had to pay for the fence.
Oh my gosh.
I think I even saw them a few years later. I don't know if I totally rectified the situation, but I was working, I was in my 20s, and I was working hard, I thought, for them, but they didn't see it that way. So, some people just may not like the way you do things, and I was there all the time. I finished the project. I think I did a good job, and the value was there, but it was a stressful job. When you get a homeowner that's tough, it's really, it can really turn you sideways.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend breaking their fence or anything like that after the fact.
Probably not.
Definitely had a few. That has been a handful. And like some of them are just very needy. Very, very needy. Like you literally have to hold their hand
Yes.
through everything. Like, and as long as you're making out okay on the job, it's like, okay, this isn't a big deal. But when you get 10 or 15 jobs going on and everybody's like,
it's harder with that.
it's definitely harder, and it's like, oh my gosh. So
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I started on those larger renovations trying to set up weekly meetings to bring, okay, this is what was accomplished, what concerns, anything that you want to add, or I've just tried to have sometimes a couple times a week, just touch points and that seems to go well, but it does. I don't have 10 jobs going on at one time, so that would be very time consuming to do. That would be like a part-time job.
Yeah.
So back when I was building houses, we had between 4 and 8 homes going on at once, and the problem I had, and I was very hands-on too. I was picking the tile with them. I was picking, like, these are new homes we're building, and I picked everything. I was really involved with the cabinets. Like, I literally would be sitting there matching the colors, like getting all into this. I would go to the tile place, help them pick out hard. Like, I picked it all out with them, and spent a lot of time with them. And what I found is when the job was over, they missed having me every day with them, and they still wanted that. They still wanted that. So that was a hard. Like, I had to move on to the next one, and they were still wanting that, all that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them do become friends.
We're still good friends.
That's good. I mean, I think that's the cool. I mean, they bring you into the intimate part of their home, and there's not a bigger compliment than someone who remains in your life after a job is complete. I think
you're also the problem of the house anytime you have a problem for the next 10 years.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, I've come, like, I do enjoy homeowner jobs, because especially like if it's a good homeowner and like they're easy to work with, because, you know, I like the design aspect and, you know, being creative and, you know, picking out the little higher end finishes and stuff that I don't normally get to do on a traditional flip. But at the same time, like, I would prefer to do a flip for sure, because then it's all on
it's
me.
vacant and you can do whatever you want. I will say the other side of that is I'll have a couple guys who they just want it to look nice, and they trust whatever I put in. They're like, whatever you want to do, I know it's going to look good. I'm like, really? And it did, but it was fun because it was almost like a flip or doing a vacant home. Because I had free reign to do whatever I wanted, and it was awesome.
It is. It's so nice because it's like I don't need to run any decision past anybody. I'm the decision maker, so it's like.
Well, you should run it by me. Let me help you.
Are you the decision maker?
Okay. Years ago, do you remember this? Cabin Hollow. That house in Dillsburg. It was a 2-story house, and I was adamant about putting in a black kitchen. It was going to be the very first black kitchen that I ever did. And Rob, well, first off, the company, our cabinet company, she asked me probably 5 times if I was sure that I wanted black cabinets, because everybody was like, you know, it didn't come in the style yet. And, you know, the contractors were like, Meg, I think you're making a bad decision here. The cabinet people were like, Meg, I think you're making a bad decision here. They're like, do you think you should ask Rob? And I said, no, I want a black kitchen. Like, I'm doing a black kitchen. And so she asked me 5 times, and I literally responded back saying, stop asking me. We are doing this. Like, done deal. And she's like, yeah, but if it doesn't look great, like, you need to sign this paper saying you're not, like, we're not liable for it. This is fully a decision.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, fine, I will sign it. Like, we were doing this kitchen. And then you found out after I had already ordered it that we were doing a black kitchen, and you were like, you were mad. Like, you were mad.
Was it really?
I bet it looked.
What was it for?
I bet it looked amazing. When do you decide if you're going to turn it into a Airbnb or flip it?
Usually when we buy it, but we don't have enough flips going, so we need revenue. So we're not about to do an Airbnb or because you don't make any money when you do those until they start to rent.
Right.
And with Airbnb being down, there's no way. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd have to have like 10 flips going on, and then get a steal on a Airbnb, and then be like, okay, we could keep one. And that's what we used to do back in the day. We'd be like flipping all these houses, and then okay, we do an Airbnb, and it would be like, didn't cost us anything.
Are your Hershey ones doing well?
They do okay.
With them being
They're
closer
down too.
to the park, are
They're
they
down.
really?
The ones close to the park do okay, but this time of year, no.
Yeah.
Chocolate's pretty steady. I feel like chocolate's the best performing one.
Yeah, it's a big house. Like
that's
all
the one
stuff.
right by Reese's.
Yeah, you did that one.
No,
both sides.
Those are Millard.
No, not by Reese. That's Millard.
Oh, that's Millard.
The first one
the
you
ones,
did.
yes.
Yeah.
And
And you
that
didn't
little-
do Chelsea's. You didn't do the one we got from Chelsea either. Chelsea did that herself. So you did the other big one in Hershey.
Yep. The big house with the garage.
Yeah.
Yep.
You did that whole thing, which I love. I mean, that looks great.
Yeah, I love chocolate.
Yeah, that was a fun
That
one.
one literally clears like 10,000 in 1 month.
That
in the
does not
summer.
surprise
like
me
1
at
or 2
all.
months, it does 8
It's
or
perfectly
10.
located.
Then it kind of breaks even the rest of the year. So if you make 20, it probably made like 30. I think it made 30 grand last year, above the mortgage.
Good.
But keep in mind, rates are really low back then, so it's you're kind of hoping that eventually, when they go up, it's going to be tougher.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about? You want me to help? You want me to get some demo people or find you some help?
I'm good.
Who's doing demo?
Grayson?
Yeah.
I was gonna have Dustin do it.
Okay. You gonna work for you again?
Yeah, he doesn't hate me yet. So.
He's the one that had the tree issue.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess I'm just so like numb over this because I don't know what's going to happen. Like.
Yeah, it happens.
So, I don't want to like leave him high and dry either, and I don't want like it to jeopardize like our relationship or anything. But I mean, I don't know. But at the same time, like.
And he has insurance, so I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just let the insurance places work it out.
That's why it's important to always work with someone who is insured. That's why we have it, right?
Exactly. For something like this that you just didn't think would be a problem, and now it's awful.
Yeah.
Did you go out today to look at it?
Mm-hmm. Dustin and I went over and looked at it.
What's the plan now?
We're not sure yet. So.
Do you think it needs cut off?
We're gonna have to.
And just leave it?
We're gonna have to cut it. But the problem is, the borough's requiring me to plant a new tree. So, cutting it off may not.
Can you plant one in a different spot?
It takes up like half the sidewalk. Like, and this is what's so frustrating to begin with, because it's like this is the borough's issue. Like, they're the ones that planted this tree. They're the ones that made a tree that's too big for this sidewalk. Like, and then they're like, oh, here.
You'd rather not put another tree in.
Yeah, like if I'm responsible for this, like if I'm truly, if you know what I mean, like if the borough's not gonna say, yeah, we're gonna take care of this, and it's on the homeowner to maintain all of this, I should be able to decide, okay, I'm not putting a new tree in there, because essentially all I'm doing is gonna, years from now, the same exact issue. So I should be able to say, no, a tree's not gonna go back in. I'll take down the tree, I'll take down the stub, I'll fix the sidewalk, but that's it. They should not have to regulate me putting a new tree back in.
Would you like to sell the house? I'll buy it.
And then you deal with all of
I'll take the
this?
whole thing.
Great.
80
$300, and I'll sell it to you.
for all three.
No.
Oh, it's
137 is worth $300 itself.
And you might think it. You should sell it. You don't owe anything on it.
That 137 is definitely at minimum 250 house.
You should sell it. You don't owe anything on it.
No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to let go of that one.
You can't let go of it.
I can't let go of 137.
No, you literally can't.
Oh yeah.
We won't go there.
Yeah.
no.
But
Yeah, she has strings attached on that one, so it's a long story.
Okay.
We don't have enough time.
I see how it is.
Amie, thanks for coming today. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
What's the name of your company and your cell phone again, just in case anyone wants work, and what areas you work in?
Sure. It's Grand Masterpiece Design. My cell phone is 717-471-6891, and we work pretty much in any area. So
Where are you based out of?
Elizabhotown.
So anywhere within an hour,
We have
hour and a
easy
half.
access to
Yeah.
the highway. So.
And you're easy to get a hold of, and you're able to take on some more work.
Yep.
And you can either work on Airbnbs, you can do bathroom remodels. I mean, you
Kitchens,
pretty much
offices.
know how to do it all.
Flooring, everything.
Awesome. Well, thanks for visiting us
Okay.
today.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, of course.